I think the challenge in marketing right now is that we live in a society of doubting Thomases. We live in a society where we've been exposed to so much marketing and selling that the experience and the expectation have been mismatched. And I think if we really want to take our businesses to the next level, we actually have to provide proof that we can deliver on our promises. It's great to promise something, but there is an element in all of us that says, hang on, prove it. And I think what we've got to do is we've got to understand what are the forms of proof that people are looking for, and what is there a ladder that I need to take people up, and what are the best forms of proof at the moment, not only to people of my generation who are baby boomers, but to people who are Generation X and Generation Y, who are obsessed with social media networks like Twitter, like Facebook, like MySpace, and their entire life is very much dependent on what others say, not necessarily what they think. So it's really understanding the power of that and delivering it in your marketing so you convert better, because it's what others say about you, not what you say about yourself.
Now, if you get it wrong and your product or service doesn't meet expectations, then you've got an even bigger problem.
Oh, absolutely, because the great challenge that you've now got with this proof is that people can say good things about you, but they can also say bad things about you. And I think there's a classic case in all of this. A number of years ago, there was a customer who had a bad experience with Dell. And this customer felt very frustrated from a customer service perspective. And revenge is sweet. And he realised that 20 years ago, his complaint would not be heard worldwide. It would get slammed at particular middle management. So he decided to take his own destiny in his own hands. He wrote a blog. Now, not only did he write a blog, he posted the blog. And because of search engines, everyone else who had a similar experience started to share their experience. Now, I'm led to believe that over 12 months, there were in excess of 600,000 people who were actually saying, this is my experience with Dell. Michael Dell realised that he can't ignore these issues any longer. So I think the great challenge is that consumers now have power, which they probably didn't have before. And I think that's really challenging in a lot of multinationals, because in the past, they wanted to control what was said about them. You can't anymore.
Now, Tony, tell us about this ladder of proof.
Okay, when I'm talking about the ladder of proof, I'm actually going to give you 4 levels. I'm going to give you the most basic level. And this level of proof is around 10 to 40%. So it's 10 to 40% of proof will come from this. Vision. Vision of what you can actually do is a form of proof. It is not the best form of proof, but it is a basic form of proof. So I'm suggesting that on your website you actually need to provide vision. I think on your brochures you need to provide vision of what you can actually do. It's not what the product is, it's what the product or service will do for your A-class customer's life or business. That's the vision. The next form is statistics. Did you know, Michael, that 2/3 of every dentist use Oral-B? Wow. 2/3. Very famous advertisements. Statistics are really powerful because in many ways, statistics give credibility to proof. You know, we have 2 forms of our brain. We have the left and the right. The statistics appeal to the accountant in all of us who actually says, prove it. Now, the problem with statistics is they can't be remembered. But they are still very good forms of proof. And I would rate them around 20 to 60%. The next one is a very powerful form of proof. Demonstrations. Michael, I know that if I wanted to sell you a new car or get you to buy a new house, the thing that I'm most passionate about is getting you into the showroom to drive it. Because as soon as you start driving that car, it's not a car, it becomes your car. And one of the keys to really building a successful business is get your prospects to touch, to feel, to sense that they own the product before they buy it. That's what demonstration is. When I was at Harvey Norman, we used to say to the people, don't ever, ever, ever touch the computer. Allow the customer to touch the computer. Allow them to play on it. As soon as they play on it, they own it. Mm-hmm. Get their hands on the keyboards. Mm-hmm. Get them to open up the phone cabinet. Let them play with the phone. Let them do the dial stuff. Do all of that, I said. Just do it. But what happens if they nick it? Don't worry if they nick it. They won't nick it. Let them believe it's theirs, because it will be theirs.
Right.
And the last one is social proof. Now, social proof comes in many formats, but predominantly it's called testimonials. See, I don't believe you, Michael. Well, why should I believe you? You're in sales and marketing. You're always going to spin a story, aren't you? I'm going to spin a story. But really, I will believe what others say about you. And that's really important. But I think it's really more important than that, because I think you've got now technology which allows you not only to get written testimonials, but also the ability to do video testimonials, the ability to do audio testimonials. Look, I have had the experience where I've had one prospect look at one testimonial and he bought. He said, I've got to buy from you. He was moved by someone else's testimony, and what was really important is the testimony that he liked the most was the video one of a prospect or a client of ours ranting and raving and saying, hey, they did an amazing program, it was fantastic. He almost had tears in his eyes because they were genuine, they were a couple, they said this is what our business was like, this is now what it's like, we want to say thank you to Tony for helping us. Got me over the line. It wasn't because of me, it was because of that.